It is Black Spring on your Saturday, and I'm not going to take very long. This is going to be a brief Black Spring mobile. So, if you're out there and you're thinking of coming in, I really appreciate it. I thank you so much. If not, of course, you're always welcome in the replay. However, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this particular situation, but apparently we have a story out of Finland, where in which this interior minister, hi Marcy T, how are you? Her name is, we have reports coming out of the BBC, as well as the Catholic News Agency that Pavi Rasanen is basically going to be tried for Bible hate speech. And yeah, and the charge is that her her writings and her postings were somehow violates, that's the charge, I guess, in their amongst their law on their books, that it violates equality and dignity of another community, and that it potentially goes beyond the limits of freedom of speech and religion. And my thing is, somebody once told me that the truth convicts. So I don't know what it is. The thing about it, when you deal with any kind of writing or any kind of source that somebody's actually quoting, to me, you're still dealing with, this internal minister, Rasanen. She's not the original source. So who exactly are you attacking here? Are you attacking her for repeating it or delivering or echoing the truth? Or it's just like, what is the truth? The truth to me is what's on trial here. And to me, this is a bigger problem, because it's going to set, on some levels, it'll set precedents for other, European, or dare I say Nordic, countries or whatnot. But not just that, but also for the world. If someone cannot, if it's criminal to post something from the Bible, a verse from the Bible on Twitter, or you cannot express yourself, which would be, to me, another First Amendment violation around here, which we're all dealing with the same issues. If you can't write about it, if you can't be interviewed about it, if you can't tweet about it, then aren't you, you're violating somebody else's rights once you start censoring. But the thing about it is, I'm saying these are still not, my thing is, it's fundamentally, she would be, to me, somebody that's repeating a gospel, or repeating a scripture. She wouldn't be the originator. It's not her scripture. This is based on, this is a biblical scripture. Okay? And whether or not, the world agrees with Christianity or whatnot, why should she be, what is the problem with the truth? Is the question, is the violation really, I think the violation is the truth. Like, they want to put the truth on the trial. It's only their truth that can stand. It's only a violation if it violates their truth. And, I don't get into that. I don't put those pronouns on the fronts of truth. I don't. I just think that it's either true or it's not true. There's only one truth. There's only one. And that's where, to me, the bottom line is. The minute that truth became nuanced, and that we could have such a spectrum of truth, that's where all these problems, come in. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't see any other religion that goes on trial more than I see Christianity. I don't see it. If somebody does something here if somebody commits something in the name or even appears to be of another religion, they'll cover it up before they will condemn the religion. They will. If anything, they've tried to create sympathizers for other religions. They won't say the word terrorism. They won't do any of that. And it seems to be, it's just, I find that Christianity is the one that's on trial all of the time. So at what point, not too long ago, they were pulling green eggs and ham off of the shelves. But what are they going to do now? Is this case going to be a precedence in which the Bible's going to be pulled? Is it going to be like it's going to be an international kind of violation for people to do anything that's remotely close to what they're accusing her of? You can't repeat about it. You can't write about it. So does that mean that all the theology schools go away? Does the existence of theology school violate equality and dignity for certain groups of people? I mean, I'm just saying. I just figure my thing is, if you're so strong, and why do you need to be protected if you're doing the right thing? Why do you always have to ask for permission? Why do you always have to be safeguarded? I would think that, that truth and belief, if you're strong in your beliefs, why do you need so much protection? Why are you always asking permission? Why does everybody have to walk on eggshells around you if you're so strong and you're so prideful? So this woman, it seems like she seems to be pretty conservative. And I think she even served on the parliament, I think, in their government. And I think she was even a part of a group where they call themselves Christian Democrats. And to me, that is like the biggest, that's the biggest oxymoron I have ever heard. I'm just saying, I've heard many oxymorons, but that one to me just kind of takes the cake. But I'm saying you have reports out of the BBC as well as the Catholic News Agency. So I think the spark started flying when she actually, challenged her own church and say, hey, congregation, what are you guys doing supporting something that's the antithesis of what you say your doctrine is, or what you say your foundations are? And then, of course, somebody called the police. I mean, I've seen the interview. Where they actually called the police. And this woman, Rasanen, says that she went through 30 hours of interrogation from the police. And it's like, she said she thought it was not the worst thing. It was crazy historically, it was history repeating itself. But at the same time, she was like, well, I was glad to give, like a Bible class to the police. It's not funny by any stretch, but it's the irony of all of this is I'm just thinking that they're just getting ready to crush. They don't want people to have religious freedoms. Like, you're threatened. Your community is so fragile that it's threatened by you can't stand up to anything. What that also tells me that something about what you're doing, you're not that prideful about it. You're not that happy about it. You're not. In fact, I remember in the interview, Rasanen says that the police actually asked her during this 30 hours of interrogation, was she ready to renounce what she tweeted, what she wrote about, and what she said in the interview. But even here in the States, many of the state's churches many of them are 501c. So to me, they're agencies of the state. I believe they will fold as well. If this kind of thing comes to the States, then they'll fold up too. Because they don't want to lose their 501c. They don't want to lose that. But it also, to me, makes that you're an agent of the state. You're not really there. You're not there for a calling per se. You're there for the benefits and for the protection or for the business end of your organization is what you are. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that particular story. I just wasn't sure if you guys had heard it. I mean, I'm sure you can find, I think, what, maybe was it Fox News covered it. This actual interview is actually on YouTube. You can go on and watch the interview. Yeah, because they say, "Oh, what was your intention by bringing this up?" I'm like, come on. Like I said, if she's repeating something that's been in existence for hundreds of years, what exactly? Like I said, I do think the truth, and I do think that the Bible in itself is going to be on trial. And if they get away with this there, then it will. I think it will be an international, because they want to bring everything under one umbrella already. So if they can manage to get rid of, if they manage to ban the Bible on some level, on an international level, because most places, the Bible is one of the to me, one of the most largely translated books in the world. And like I said, I think it's just going to be, it's going to spread like wildfire. It'll shut things down worldwide. It will. You will not be able to, it's like their book burning. You won't be able to get it in print. And how long will it be before it'll be illegal to even own one? I mean, come on, folks. Whether you believe or not, whatever you believe in, you don't want people telling you what you can and cannot read, or what you can and cannot write about, or what you can and cannot repeat about what you've either been taught or either what you believe in. You don't want that. But yes, this woman, I don't think she was, and she doesn't come off as a radical or anything. I mean, she had many different, she wore many hats before she took on that internal minister position, interior minister position. But she also became involved in her church. And good on her for challenging people for contradicting themselves. It's just like they're trying to cancel. They're either going to fine her or they're going to throw her in jail. I think it's up to 2 years. I mean, there are many. So I'm saying, this is, to me, people should be rallying behind her, because if they can do this to her, then the Bible is next. So how many of these 501c and these huge mega churches are going to stand up like she did? Who's going to do it? Because somebody here will challenge it. There's all kinds of, there's all kinds of, vibrational, religions and all these kinds of things that have come across. But all of them have to have another piece to go along with the Bible. Oh, well, we believe in the Bible too. We have a gecko, but we believe in the Bible too. We have geckos in our whatever, but we believe in the Bible too. Everybody's selling something. But they want to put it right next to the Bible so that they can sell it. But if the Bible goes away, I'm thinking there's a much bigger than that's it. We've already been attacked. We've been attacked on the social media platforms. But then now we're going for the books. Does that mean all the schools will go away? The Christian schools, the Catholic schools, whatever school, whatever school that you might be attending that has that has a Christian teaching or Christian doctrine, what happens? So I'm just saying, I do think that this lady is a very, it's like she's a lamb or something, she's not, and I don't think she's gotten, I don't know what kind of support she's gotten, if she's gotten any support from internationally, she should. But for her to face jail time, and she has said herself, it would be the censorship is the biggest, for the lack of a better phrase, kiss of death on something like this, because a fine or her getting 2 years in prison is not nearly as bad as the effects of the censorship from something like this. So let me see who's all here, guys. So yeah, check out your BBC. It's Pavi Rasanen, and they are literally calling this hate speech. And all these people and all their little hounds and their little henchmen go out and start calling the cops and digging around in this woman's background, digging around in her writings or and her tweets, and they just go in your whole background and start trying to destroy you. But they're not trying to destroy her. They are trying to destroy the Bible. They are trying to destroy. That's what they're doing. It's on trial, folks. And I'm going to keep my eye on that particular case. I don't know if we have anybody out here in that area, but let me say hi to everybody in the stream. I know Marcy T's here. Hi, Marcy T. Thank you so much, Marcy T. Yes, she does. Absolutely, Marcy T. Steve Willis is here. How are you? Risen Ability, how are you? And Melinda Ann Burns is here. How are you? And Melinda Ann Burns says, that's what this country was founded on, religious freedom. And Luciano said, definitely oxymoron. And TMK Media, how are you? And Marcy T says, yeah, call the red rums. Marcy says, if we didn't laugh, we will cry. Melinda Ann Burns says, never in my lifetime did ever believe that churches would shut themselves down voluntarily. Never. Two Hats is here. Hi, 22 Ronan. Canada is proving freedom is an idea that can be manipulated. Sadly, I'm beginning to think that they think freedom is an experiment. You've heard that word thrown around. Who was it that I heard? I have yet to find this clip. If anybody has the clip out there, let me know. I did hear that, what was it, when we were nearing the end of was it Trump's presidency, or either there, I heard that Don Lemon actually came out and said, thank you for participating in this experiment. And I don't know whether that was, was that a pivoting point, or I'm sure he knows what he was trying to convey or what it meant. But for most people, I don't think, they paid any attention. They don't pay attention to what he actually says. They want to cling on to his acting skills, which are not a non-issue, a non-issue. So let me go back here just a little bit. Derek C. Williams is here. And Luciano says Billy Gates said he's sad that natural immunity from Omicron is better than the. Oh my God, that guy. Risen Ability says, oh, you're too kind. He says the Bible is the most published and purchased book still today. I don't think that would happen. Well, I don't know. These people are not, they are relentless, Risen Ability. And it's, to me, once upon a time, I think before we did all the pre-LGBTQ stuff and the pre-Obama, support for, the same-sex marriage and all that stuff. Some people kind of accuse them of control, of being like a tool of control or a mechanism of control. And I think that's probably right. That's probably accurate. But they use groups of people to achieve, they put them out in front like, oh, we've got to do it for these communities. We got to do it to protect this group of people. The same thing that they do for the black community. Everything that they do, they're trying to protect someone, or they can't do this because it will cause, everything is going to be, they're going to rewrite, I think, laws based on equality and dignity. Yeah, because they're saying that this woman's excerpt of on Twitter violates that. Let me just scroll down here. So yeah, we're certainly, the moral decay is definitely, what is it? Postmodernism. You know, nothing means nothing. You know, it's just everything is devalued. You know, there's no value in anything. And they've done a fantastic job. They've done a fantastic job. You just look at it. Social media, the amount of narcissism that's on social media, you know, you can vanish into thin air just with the click of a button. Or you could be shut down with just the click of a button. And let's see, Derek C. Williams says, we outside, outstanding, late to... I'm actually in the car right now. I'm actually, this is mobile, clearly, truly mobile right now. But yeah, close enough. And, you know, I was guilty of donut shaming earlier today. Ran into a bunch of donuts that were savory and sweet, and I did not get those, by the way. Here we go. Let's see. Luciano says, did I hear about Jean-Luc Brunel? No, it says he, quote, committed suicide with the security cameras off. Seems to be a pattern. No, I think I have heard that name, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with that story. I need to look it up. Thank you for that. And Marcy Teach said Justin Trudeau is Castro or God. All right. Then, okay. Derek C. Williams said freedom is now a, quote, right-wing idea. Well, I think it's an experiment is what it is. It's, yeah, I think they consider everything an experiment, I think, at this point. So basically, because it's an experiment, then you can just be subject to anything, right? Right? Okay, so let me just keep going here. Who else is in the chat here? We have Marcy T says, Nazi is the real term. Luciano says, oops, his name is or was Jean-Luc Brunel. Jean-Luc Brunel? Melinda M. Burns says, even the Supreme Court opening state, quote, in God we trust, end quote. Derek C. Williams says, imagine my shock about any comments from Kill Gates of hell. He's a population control advocate. Right, and see, people will even deny that. But see, this other thing is, guys, here's the thing that we need. I'm sure you guys are on to this. But the way they are changing definitions when it comes to health and even history, they are rewriting history. Wikipedia is going to be a reliable source because it's not reliable. You know, it can be edited, it can be changed. And even back in the day when I went to college, once upon a time, they used to talk about, you'd have professors that would tell you, well, don't use Wikipedia. That's not a reliable source. And I thought at that particular time, well, is it because it can be edited or it can be changed at any time? Well, that's the fabric of our life right now, right? Definitions of science and the V word are and fully mocktailed can be changed at any minute. So that's where we are. It's whatever they say is true. If whatever they say is real or whatever they say is valid is what it is. Hang on just a second. But yes, Miss Rasanen, I do think she should get, I don't know if anybody's going to, stand up and support this woman. But the thing is, it's not about supporting her. It's about supporting the Bible. It would be support for the Bible. That is where her information came from. So, I mean, you're not attacking her. You're not putting her on trial. You wouldn't be throwing her. You are trying to signal a banning of the Bible, or you're trying to eliminate it. You're trying to do that. So I don't know what else is going to be next. What is it? Dr. Seuss, green eggs and ham, but then the school boards can put perversion in the books for the kids and teach them about, I'm serious. I mean, some of these books are, you know, they're, like I said, everything is going down. And Derek C. Williams says America is the experiment, freedom is not. But to me, to them, they're the one. That's the inversion to me on them. They think it's an experiment. I don't. I agree. But we're definitely weakening by the day. It's like, what are we doing now? We're scheduling. What is this? This is in the Bible too. Rumors of war. Are we scheduling wars? We're gonna have a war with this Eastern European country. Maybe March. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying. We're gonna schedule some wars, or we're gonna tentatively pencil this in and just keep everybody on edge, and America just keeps looking weaker and weaker by the second, right? Even almost weaker. Somebody said they thought right now that they're making this country look even weaker than the days of the days of the inception of the country. It's who knows. Derek C. Williams says the inversion: ignorance is strength, freedom is slavery, war is peace we can believe in. Luciano says, I predict T-Mobile will go the way of the dodo bird. They're flat out ignoring the courts. Derek C. Williams says those arms belong to little defenseless black children in Africa, as Melinda Gates sat there and didn't even shake or question him. Maniacs. And Derek C. Williams says Gates is quoted as saying the mocktails are my most profitable investment. He also said in front of an audience, quote, we just take this experimental substance and just shoot it into their arms. Wow. By the way, I am catching up. There's some great things over on Discord, by the way. I didn't post. I put something up there, but Derek C. Williams is on. Derek C. Williams is ahead of his time, ladies and gentlemen. Derek was talking a lot about some of the things that are going on right now. What, like he's been talking about these things and he's been covering these topics for the longest. So get over to Derek C. Williams, either, you know, here. Derek C. Williams, put your information in as per usual. Anybody in the stream that wants to drop their information, you can feel free to do that. But I've seen a lot of great things on some things that I haven't seen even on the tubes. But I think they are squashing and fact checking anything that we talked about 2 years ago. They are squashing it because, you know, I thought right away, you know, I heard Biden quoting like the old Soviet Stalin before when he talked about votes. But now you should see the fact checkers. They have gone, if you type that in, all you see is fact checker, fact checker, fact checker, fact checker, fact checker, fact checker. What he really meant was fact checker, fact checker, fact checker, fact checker, nuance. Well, da-da-da-da-da. And they squashed everything that you could find 2 years ago about Stalin, the old Soviet, the 1936, things on communism. They have squashed that stuff. And why do you think that is? You cannot get to it. You gotta drop, you gotta dig it out. You gotta get a shovel. You need a shovel just to find history. Or that's what I'm telling you guys, like, really right now, I'm thinking it's going to be even more critical for people to start getting books. Like books. I'm talking paperback, hardback. If you see anybody throwing books out, be it schools, and I wouldn't be surprised, libraries, schools, community centers, anybody that's throwing out books right now, see if you can get a hold of them. Because I think these things are going to go away. See, there it is. Luciano has it. Thank you, Luciano. It says, quote, it's not who votes, but who counts the votes. End quote. Creepy Joe quoted Stalin, whether he knows it or not. Well, see, I'm not convinced that he's all the way out to that he's in left field. I haven't been. I mean, you're seeing the West praise and quote dictators. Why is that a coincidence? And including Trudeau. He's admiring the CCP. But see, who was another person did that? What was it? Obama did that when he talked about Cuba, and he praised them. So, yeah. But what I'm saying is, it's going to be imperative, whether you have kids or grandkids or whatnot. I think it would be imperative for you get your hands on some books. Even if you go to a college and just ask, are there any books that are going to be thrown out, or just, say you'd like to, take the books, because I think that's going to be the only way. That's going to be your only resource, because Google is a tool of the state, and you're going to have to go the way of them, their truth, their history. I mean, whether you study history or not, pretty soon, what will they do next? What will they do next? Will they start deleting people? Will they start painting their opponents out of their political opponents and constituents out of pictures that were taken years ago? What will they do? I mean, Stalin did that. His photographers, they would take people out of pictures. And see, to me, that's rewriting history. And to me, the books, the history, making people dive deeper or putting things further on the bottom, make it even worse. Like, that's the way of them suppressing it, and eventually they will pull it. You won't be able to find it. They're scrubbing history and rewriting it. Yeah, 22 Ronin says, for your own good and for your own safety. Derek C. Williams says, just saw a video the other day where Trudeau, yeah, now he's basically a dictator in Canada, but dictators typically end up. Yikes. But what I'm saying is, I think that's kind of what I'm kind of on about. Like, this is, I don't know if, I'm not saying that this Rasanen is a martyr, but I'm saying that they will use her case as a beginning, to me, of getting rid of the Bible. I think is what they're doing. Basically, even here, these churches have reimagined themselves already. Like I said, the 501c aren't going to stand up for anything. So that's about it. So I think that's going to be it for you guys on this. I just wanted to get into that just a little bit. Marcy T says those that burn books will burn bodies next. And Ronan says Russia isn't screaming. Yeah. I think that this is temporary relief, a temporary reprieve, and then they're going to go back into after these midterms, they're going to go back into their tyranny. I've heard. Has anybody? Are we done with the emergency powers? Like, for one, has Newsom said before his recall election that he was renewing the emergency powers that he had. And many of these, like what's happening in Michigan, Marcy T. Okay, so what is it? Wikipedia, Luciano says, Wikipedia is completely compromised. They call Abraham Lincoln, quote, a nationalist, end quote, instead of a Republican, and a good luck trying to find out what political party. See what I mean? So I'm going to be honest, and that, to me, it's dangerous for us, and even as content creators, to me, we have a responsibility to vet what we put out. But certainly Google is not going to be, the Google narrative, the Google search to me is very unreliable. It's very manipulated. Okay, let's see. Hang on a second. Derek C. Williams says, I have an entire bookshelf full of books and tons of documentaries on DVD. Had a dream that one day both would become illegal to own, punishable by death. A vivid dream. Damn. 22 Ronan says, I heard truckers are going to copycat. Yeah, I see. This is, you see what I mean? Like, it's almost like it's like Trudeau and it's like they're trying to follow the same playbook or something, you know. I have no idea. But Marcy T says they banned Bibles in Canada. Terudo Casturo. Luciano says that there's approximately 30 Democrat politicians who all of a sudden not seeking re-election. Derek C. Williams says did a video 2 years ago. One man, I believe his name is Stephen Pruitt. He is responsible for over 3 million edits on Wikipedia. Imagine the power to shape the mind with that many edits. Yeah, if you guys get any more on the truckers in DC, let me know. And are they still all like wire fenced up in that area? I have no idea. Derek C. Williams, I didn't know Old Head Deuce was here. Old Head Deuce, you snuck in here. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And Luciano says, I see a false flag coming. They found a bunch of guns headed toward the Canadian convoy. I botched. Well, I tell you, I'll keep an eye on the Pavi Rasanen Bible hate speech situation, and like I said, you can catch that on the BBC. You can catch the interview that she did, and there's a 2004 writing. You're 22, Ronan. Okay. All right, I got it. Old Head Deuce, you're doing you're a phantom. You're doing magical things. Okay, and the other one was the Catholic News Agency. Yeah. So yeah, just but this story goes back. It's not like a new development, but it's the trial will be interesting to see as much as I can. I don't know. I wonder if Anarchy Television is Anarchy. I'd love to see hear your thoughts on this, or if anybody close to you or that you might tap into before this goes down. That would be great. Right. Now, it might be a good idea, Derek C. Williams. I think maybe I should do something. Yeah, I haven't changed mine. I do have some ideas. Oh no. Hang in there. All right, guys, let me say hello to everybody and we're out. Derek C. Williams, I appreciate you so much. Marcy T, thank you guys both so much for supporting the channel the way that you do. I will do my diligence to share and spread your guys' information. Yeah, because I like the numbers, they're goofing with the numbers as per usual. So thank you so much. Drop your links, anything you feel is pertinent or relative to what we're discussing. Drop your links, Discord, drop your links, YT, whatever you got. 22 Ronan, thank you so much for coming in. Luciano, thank you for sharing with us. Thank you very much for supporting us. Marcy T. Reasonability was here. Thank you so much, Reasonability. I really appreciate it. See, these people realize that everything that was invented for good is being squelched right now. The printing press was a huge tool for communication. The things that people weren't spreading by word of mouth, was being spread. They could do it in print and spread faster. Well, if the print goes away and It's like they're undoing everything. Everything will be done to word of mouth, but you're going to be in trouble for that, depending on who you're talking to. Yeah, but everything that was to advance, I think, knowledge and communication and the power of words, or the power of communication. But it seems like the internet and the social media was meant to do the opposite. It was to undermine and to inadvertently squash communication and freedoms. So I'm just thinking that, like, the books are important. I think reading is important anyway. Some people hate to read, but I say it's self-education. Okay, it is self-education, and I'm saying it's self-education because sometimes when we hear things in our own head, in the voice, in our voice in our own head, it's very powerful, and it hangs on a little bit longer than when somebody else says it. If you truly listen to yourself. Some people hate to listen to themselves. I'm wondering if that's another reason why some people hate reading. I had somebody in my family tell me they hate reading. I'm saying, please don't repeat that again in front of me and anybody else. You love to bake cakes with recipe books, but you hate to read. Okay, let's keep that going. Derek C. Williams says, so many idiots on YT, YouTube, children in adult bodies, but you're one of the better content creators. I appreciate it. But I'm just saying, it's just, we are being seriously undermined and squelched for, to the detriment, to the ignorant, for ignorance. We're not being propelled. We're not being empowered. What was it? Trevor Noah talked about, well, I keep hearing people say, do your research. Well, these people haven't done the kind of research. Well, you know what? What research is, fundamentally, research is reading. And I said this on the show the other day. Research, you got to read in order to research. That's what you have to do. And I think they are turning up their heats there. I said heats. All right, guys. Seriously, thank you so much, Luciano. Says you buffered real bad on my end right after you read my comment. All right. So I know we got the right one when we're buffering, right? That's how we know how we know we're on. Okay, and see what else do we have. Derek C. Williams says, you have to understand, Black Spring governments need idiots to tend to the fields. Imagine a thinking populace, that anathema to government. Okay, I gotcha. And then March T says, from every angle. All right, and Luciano says, is Bill Mayer getting red pilled in front of our eyes? Let's see. Books and now free-flowing information in the internet must be killed off, and many folks are dumb people with smartphones. Information overload apparently is a real thing. You judge. Hi, Freedoms March. How are you doing? So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that story, and I don't know. I guess, dare I say, save the books. Save the books if you find them. Yeah, as I remember, I knew somebody that was throwing a ton of books out, and I took them. So yeah, just watch, just kind of keep an eye on that and see what happens. Are they going to, I'm not going to sit here and say that I think schools in America have scanned all their library books, that they have everything. I'm not going to say that. But you guys remember, what was it, like microfiche? Like, whatever happened to that data? Does anybody know? Like, how accessible is one of those machines? What do they call those machines again, by the way? see, or what would they call it? That would make like what? Like what would the Library of Congress then be? It would be very much protected, or you may not even get to visit it anymore. Macrofish, rodent. Ay, ay, ay. Luciano said Bob Saget said he'd be found dead in bed just a few months prior. Oh, wow. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, no rant. No rant. Just saying, I'm going to follow the Rasanen Bible hate speech. And also books. Save the books. Go to the book fair, or I don't know. If you've got a set of encyclopedias, we've talked about that before. Does anybody else have any encyclopedias? I'd pay good money for a set of encyclopedias. In fact, I would pay good money for a few different makers, a few different versions of encyclopedias. Okay, let's see what we have. Luciano says they started that crap back in '95 when they said they were banning Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn because they were, quote, offensive, end quote. And Derek C. Williams says around 1992 or so, microfiche went the way of the dodo bird. Teach. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on, and check out the article. Check out the interview with Pavi Rasanen. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, let us know. And Ronan says, so much for YouTube helping you cheat on your homework. You're gonna get an F. Go to Wiki. If you, I guess that's the measure of a teacher, of a history teacher, will be if she accepts the YouTube, if she accepts Wikipedia, Wikipedia BC, right? How about that? Wikipedia BC or Wikipedia? I don't even. Can we say yet AC? We know what Wikipedia BC is, but anything in between gets a little gray. But what about Wikipedia AC? That is going to be. I would love to read a history book 2 years from now, like a new one, like the school history books, because I'm beginning to wonder if that was the reason that they changed the book so much. The schools adopted books, so their committees would come together so often because they knew they were rewriting history a long time ago, I suspect. The colleges do it all the time. That's why the students can't afford the books. It's because they'll change the book every other semester. So you can't go back. If you have to repeat a course, it's not going to be the same book. Even if it's been a year. It's rare that you'll find a professor using a book from more than a year or two past. So 4 is a real stretch. Even the dictionaries, that's the other thing. You might better get some dictionaries. I'd say anything after 18. All right, guys, I'm going on. I'm going on and on and on. All right, let's see. I said I was out of here, but let me see. We're out in less than, and we're out in 1 minute. Marcy T says you have to go back to the 1800s. T6, get the real meaning of words. Derek C. Williams says start page DuckDuckGo and the TOR browser, the last so-called censorship-free search engines out. Just Google it. It is a term for suckers. And 22 Ronan says history is rewritten every day, some correction, some faulty. And Marcy T says 1-800-dictionary. Yep, they're standing by, right? They're standing by. But I take these colleges are going to be something else, I swear. If you got a kid in college, like just before BC, like 2020 or 2019, and then 4 years by 2024, and by 2030, everything will be erased. You'll be dogpiling. You'll be looking dog piles. The dog piles will be real by 2030. Google be around, or will Wikipedia be around by 2030. I don't know. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. And unless I find something else, or something else, you know, speaks to me, I will speak back to you guys. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. And thank you guys so much for coming in. Looks like we're stuck here.